so many lies. Not just the lies of the Chinese government, even our own government lied. And lied even more as it tried to hide every bit of evidence of U.S. government funding of dangerous coronavirus gain-of-function experiments in Wuhan. The great COVID cover-up began in China. No one should be surprised that a totalitarian government would seek to hide any responsibility for a worldwide pandemic. But it was mind-jarring to witness the cover-up that took place in our own country, supposedly the land of the free. Fauci and his yes men might have gotten away with it if a federal judge hadn't ordered their emails released, revealing that virtually all of Fauci's colleagues, including himself, initially believed that COVID originated with a lab leak. The email showed in real time these very same scientists publicly disavowing the lab theory while privately concluding that in all likelihood the virus did originate from the lab. So on the one hand, they're saying it came from the lab, and then publicly they're saying, oh, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist if you say this. Something weird, something strange, and something dishonest was going on. To those who disdain the moniker deep state, they fail to understand the nature of the epithet. It's not an accusation of evil men sitting in the dark, rubbing their hands together with glee and plotting to devastate the world by releasing a supervirus. The truth is much more mundane. George Carlin put it well when he said, "You don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge." Why are 8 federal agencies right now, to this day, resisting my records releases? Why are they resisting giving us the truth? Why are so many in league? That the deep state actually is a good description. It describes it well. It's precisely that their interests converge. Any agency that funded the gain-of-function research in Wuhan or in the United States or anywhere in the world now denies that the research was gain-of-function. And they fight tenaciously to keep any record that they funded this dangerous research from the public eye. So fierce is their will that they have refused to divulge records even when I've enlisted 25 fellow senators to sign the records request. It's only now that Robert F. Kennedy is in charge of the HHS that we're finally getting to the bottom of this. And we can all thank Bobby Kennedy for keeping his word and revealing these records. The deep state is simply an alignment of interest. It's a bunch of bureaucrats that through the federal government come together to cover up responsibility because they know they funded the research that in all likelihood led to a lab leak that killed millions. When I challenged Anthony Fauci in committee, he angrily and vehemently denied funding any gain-of-function research. When I asked Fauci again at a subsequent hearing, Dr. Fauci, knowing that it's a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research? Fauci, in a transparent attempt to change the subject, abruptly pivoted to the shrill accusation that I was somehow responsible for death threats against him. Well, as you all know, Fauci was ultimately pardoned by President Biden's auto pen. How convenient. In his last hours in office, President Joe Biden granted Fauci a preemptive pardon, something unprecedented in modern American politics, that gave him blanket immunity for any crimes committed going all the way back to January 2014. Fauci accepted the pardon and insisted that he had committed no crime and there are no possible grounds for any allegation or threat of criminal investigation or prosecution of me. What a curious response. So why the pardon? If he committed no crime, why would he accept the pardon? To Fauci and his gaggle of sycophants, public health was not about advice, but about submission. And above all, do not question. To question, to do so risks social condemnation as a racist, a denier of the latest approved belief, or an anti-vaxxer or an anti-masker. Once branded as such, you could lose not just friends and family, but your job. Your bank could cancel you. Best to remain silent. Listen to the experts. Believe the science. And as Anthony Fauci famously told you, I am the science. How did Anthony Fauci, lifelong government bureaucrat, become the science? As Jean Giraudoux is quoted as saying, the secret of success is sincerity. Once you can fake that, you've got it made. No one person more represents that than Anthony Fauci. Likely no other government official, elected representative included, could fake sincerity like Anthony Fauci. Will investigators finally uncover from purposeful lost databases the real precursor to COVID-19? Time will tell, but I haven't given up on this, and we are daily searching thousands and thousands of records looking for answers. From what we know of the COVID cover-up, though, the evidence is clear that Fauci and others worked together to obscure and distort the truth. The Chinese government orchestrated its own cover-up. Multiple U.S. government agencies to this day continue to hide evidence that they funded dangerous research in Wuhan. I believe that history will judge them harshly. In the end, one must imagine Fauci and others all believe they got away with it. But still, late at night, even the guilty must become anxious, rerunning the scenarios through their minds, wondering, latching on to lingering doubts and worrying. Did their actions lead to the largest man-made plague in human history? Are the millions dead the result of their experiments to increase the pathogenicity of deadly viruses? History will judge. But the facts as we know them paint a sordid tale of dishonesty, misjudgment, and ultimately hubris, the likes of which the world has rarely seen.